Hi, my wise astrology tribe, Cosmic Insight Astrology. I am your co-pilot, Christina. If you believe it or not, I started the video already. When I realized, actually, I was talking about Saturn going to Aries and not Neptune going to Aries. After like 15 minutes, I was talking about Saturn over here, and this video actually going to be Neptune ingress Aries on March 30th, because this is coming first before Saturn going to ingress, right? Because Saturn only going to ingress Aries in May 29th. So obviously I'm gonna do this video first. So, I was thinking, okay, Mercury is not in retrograde yet. It is in Pisces. Obviously, it's going to go in retrograde in Aries. What's happening? Then I checked the planetary aspect for today, and I just saw that Jupiter and Mercury are squaring right now. And look at my dog, it's constantly barking today. So I'm just gonna lock him out because of he is very, very annoying lately. He's barking a lot. All right. So, as I said, if you're new to my channel, I am Cosmic Insight Astrology. My name is Christina and I am your co-pilot. Why do I say that? Because of I am the one who is helping you to go through any kind of challenging situation or use the energy for your advantage. And the other hand is the power is in your hand. I never want you to be codependent on me. I want you to fix your own life, all right, if you need to. So, for example, the other thing is I would like you to subscribe, like, and comment below. Commenting, even a thank you, could help the algorithm, and it could pick it up overnight, and it could help me to grow my channel. And I do a lot of work researches. I constantly study. I have a lot of time away from my children. So it could be a little bit difficult for them sometimes. So I really need your help over here to grow my channel, share it with people. And also, I do a lot of fixed stars and a lot of asteroids. So if you like that kind of style, and I'm very detailed, I'm very technical as well, because I want you to learn astrology, and I'm giving free information away. And on the other hand, I am obsessed with mundane astrology. So, I always check the political situation, the geopolitical, the weather, the climate change, and everything else. So I'm going to talk about that. Everything is timestamped. So if you don't like that, obviously, you can actually skip that, and you don't need to listen if you have enough from news, because a lot of people have enough, and I totally understand that. And if you don't like my accent, I also understand that, because many times energy doesn't fit, and that's okay. As I always say, I might not be your cup of tea, but I can be your shot of tequila, and if still not, it's okay. But don't be rude, please. All right? Okay. So then I'm going to go, and lately I started to do sharing slideshows. First of all, because I learned how to do that, and that is funny, right? Because I should have known that already. But my son is in Pisces, and I just don't like technology. But right now I started to learn a lot of things, so I'm more comfortable with it. And because I'm doing slideshows, it's easier for you also to understand my accent and see what am I talking about. So it's not only I'm sharing, the chart as well, but you know what I'm talking about. And I always talk about the 12 signs. And when it's lunation, if I do any kind of lunation, then I do meditation as well for you if you would like to join in. But I also go into timestamp. If you don't want to listen, that's all right as well. All right, guys, so I'm going to share here the Neptune in Aries, and finally I'm not going to talk about like Saturn right now, like I just did for 15 minutes. Crazy. All right, here it is actually my website, urbanwitch.org, and also Cosmic Insight Astrology if you want to subscribe and follow to my, on my channel. All right, so I'm going to start with the quotes. I start all my videos with the quotes, and I try to find the best quotes that suits for this subject. And actually, I did find it. You can never cross the ocean unless you have the courage to lose sight of the shore. Neptune is ocean, right? And actually, Aries is a very bold initiative energy, something who is action oriented. Aries is the Mars is the warrior, and Mars rules Aries. So it says, be courageous, be bold enough to actually do the initiative and leave the shore, leave the comfortable, what was very comfortable for you. Maybe even, didn't serve you anymore, but because of the comfort, you didn't want to let it go. So it's asking you to leave the comfort and take on to a new journey and be faith, filled with faith and fearless, okay? And it is like the familiar shores has a comfort in it, right? But sometimes we cannot grow over there anymore. So it's representing like go ahead and go and get rid of the familiar shore because of the ocean is mysterious. It is vast, it is huge, and there is a lot of growth could go on, spiritual growth, if you are willing and you have the courage to grow. And actually, there is my favorite revolution song is The Courage to Grow. So if you want to listen it, they are amazing, very talented musicians, and that song is really suit over here. All right, guys. And the other thing is what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about the Sabian symbol. Usually I bring in the Sabian symbol. About Sabian symbol, you have to know from 0 to 1 degree is the first symbol in Aries. And area 0 degree, it's a cardinal sign, right? And the cardinal axis are very, very major shift shaping for the collective. So 0 degree, Neptune over there going to create a major shift for the collective. And the Sabian symbol is a woman rises out of the water. Seal rises and embraces her. So what does it mean, guys? All right, so this is a powerful symbol of rebirth and transformation. It is a very deep awakening, spiritual awakening for the collective because it's shifting our mind. We're going to become more compassionate, all right? We are rising from the ocean, and the seal, which is embraces her, it's representing we are not alone, right? So that is actually really good because of it. You don't have to take this journey on your own. You are capable to find like-minded people, and those like-minded people can hold your hand and walk with you. You know the Eminem song, which is my favorite. I'm not afraid. You can also listen that. Hold my hand and let's walk this journey together, this road together kind of situation. And, it's also like the subconscious. We're going to listen to the subconscious. We are rising from the ocean, that the ocean is the vast of mysterious energy. Neptune is a vast of mysterious energy. And we are going to be courageous enough to take another initiative, to go and leave the comfortable shore behind and, dive into something else, which be more purposeful. So we're going to have that kind of spiritual energy. But you have to know about Neptune. Neptune takes actually 164, 65 years to go around the sun, the zodiacal cycle. So that Neptune is an outer planet, and actually it is taking a long time to go around, and also it takes a lot of time in one sign. So, for example, it's in Pisces since 2011. And Pisces is the ruler of Neptune. So Neptune is very, very comfortable over here, right? And Neptune in Pisces were the dreamer, the compassionate, the artist. The music industry improved a lot since 2011. It could be a lot of new like field raised with mysticism. For example, because of the 12th house, which is ruled by Neptune and rules Pisces, everything about mysticism, everything about dreams, everything about hypnotherapy. It's actually the underprivileged, the unprivileged people, orphans, incarcerated, people in jail, anything we do with homelessness, veterans, anything to do with what else could be, but also hospitality as well, and film industry. Usually it's documentaries as well, anything to do with photography, filmography. So over here, photography, filmography improved a lot, and art was the mysticism actually was some kind of base of the artistic expression as well. So we had a lot of documentary with mysticism, with afterlife. Pisces and Neptune is the eternal womb. Neptune is forgiveness itself. It's representing forgiveness. It's representing fogginess as well, illusion, delusion as well, and also addiction, alcohol and drug addiction. It's rules the big pharma as well. So we could have seen actually a lot of issues, for example, with big pharma taking over. We could have seen a lot of issues with cartel and drug addiction, overdoses. We had a lot of overdoses. Neptune rules also, it could rule also depression. For example, Saturn in 12th house and conjunct Neptune could be depression or suicidal thoughts, especially if it has a square to Mars or Pluto. So it could have a lot of dark side, but also it is the higher octave of Venus. It is unconditional love. It is also kind of Mother Teresa. I know a lot of people said Mother Teresa was like evil, whatever, but the forgiveness itself over here, it's very, very important. It is capable to forgive. Yes. And then I wanted to show you the chart over here when Neptune is going to enter Aries, and it's going to be March 30th, as I said, 2025, and Neptune going to retrograde back to Pisces, October 22nd, 2025, and then Neptune re-enter Aries in January 26, 2026, and going to stay over here till the May 21st, 2038, okay? But just briefly going to get into Taurus, and then it's going to come back October 21st, retrograde back to Aries, and in 2039 going to go and stay in Taurus. So actually, it is from 2025, from 2039, 14 years, it's going to be in Aries. And if for example, Neptune is the ocean, and in Aries, in the area of Aries over here, it's representing something to do with boiling water, right? So it has to be something. Just a second. All right, so sorry about that. Let me reshare again because maybe I'm not sharing, okay? Because last time that's what happened. Everything went blank because Cosmos started to bark again, and I don't even know where I have been. But I was, yes. So I was talking about Neptune and to be there for 14 years in Aries, and it is actually a fiery sign. And Neptune is everything about ocean and water, right? It's a big vast of water. So actually, the fiery energy is broiling the water, so it's not necessarily very comfortable over there. And Neptune doesn't do well in Virgo because obviously that's the opposite sign. That is the detriment for Neptune. But what we wanted to talk about actually the cycle over here. So for example, we also going to talk about the breakthrough of Neptune in Aries, right? And as I said, we will see a lot of change in the world. I'm going to go back to history as well a little bit for you guys, but there is going to be definitely a lot of change. So what you have to know about the world axis over here, and what is actually the world axis, we were talking about the cardinal signs, which is Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn, and it is going to bring in a huge shift in with major events for the collective, like it is the primer essence of the creation. It is the grand crossover there in our life. It is an intersections of the collective, of the human. on Earth, right? So look about what's happening right now around the world. The world is crazy. I always tell the boys, like, the sky is falling, but Little Chicken said. I had to watch that movie over and over again because Jean-Paul really loved it. But it feels like the sky is falling. And, Aries actually has that kind of pioneering and revolutionary, the soldier kind of what is that the soldier kind of energy there. So it wants to go in war. It's want to be courageous. It is going to be a lot of collective shift in power and directions, right? We will see a lot of leaders going to fall. And I told you before, guys, because Neptune rules the cartel itself and drug industry, we have a war on cartel. Neptune in Aries is the war on cartel and drug industry and pharmaceutical. So we will see that actually playing out. All right, and what else is happening over here? Yes, so here it is. Let's see what is the core theme of Neptune, right? So what does it mean? What is Neptune bringing into our life besides spirituality, creativity, and anything to do with emotional, subconscious understanding? That is your dreamlands. Neptune also very utopian and utopian vision. A lot of humanitarian effort because of its compassion. Pisces is a very compassionate sign, and also a lot of spiritual enlightenment as well. We're going to have awakened, actually, it's a renaissance of art, for example. And also the spirituality and mysticism going to change a little bit, or prayers or psychic sensitivity is changing as well. It's not going to be, it's going to be very fiery. It's going to be very prompt and really, really quick because Mars is fire energy. It's a quick energy, right? And for example, Neptune also representing illusion, delusion as well. And it is actually embodies the primal essence of creation. Why? Because of Neptune is the eternal womb. Neptune also the prenatal fate and the prenatal karma as well. We are choosing our parents, right? And whatever happening in the womb, you already creating that into your life, your first, second year of your life. The womb, the way you've been treated by your mother, the food what your mother eat, right? That is very, very influential, and it is very Neptunian as well. And we're coming from the womb and we're going back to the eternal womb to actually go and be with the creator, the universal energy again. So, but it could be deception, it could be illusion, very, very foggy, delusion. A lot of people delusional. It could bring in some kind of mental illnesses. It could bring in things like, all right, you know what, because of I'm not understood, because of the language I talk, because they don't understand my spiritual drive. And, you're gonna get segregated, for example, from society. It could be also, escapism and addiction as well, because Neptune is alcohol and drug, as I said, so substance abuse and, fantasy world also could be like, I'm running away from reality. I cannot take reality. So it could be really, really potential for Neptunian energy as well, right? And, if we are checking it, what is happening over here, then we're going to have a global spiritual shift, definitely in our ideology. For example, religious shift as well. We're going to see when Saturn and Neptune are conjuncting. I told you 2 years ago, 2025, going to be like either going to end of Popeism or the Pope gonna die in 2025, because that's going to be a major issue. And it could be something to do with virus, because Neptune is virus, Saturn is seizing life, seizing a leader life. Neptunian energy, it's a spiritual leader, it's the Pope itself. So as I said, it could bring in some kind of issue with Popism. We also going to have new leadership. Saturn is leaders as well. Saturn rules the 10th. Oh, Neptune. I'm talking about Neptune. I started to talk about Saturn again. So, but anyway, Neptunian energy over here, it is like ending a spiritual world, something to do with religion as well. and something new is rising. So it's a shift over here. And the leaders itself going to be more spiritual. For example, we're going to see a lot of rebellion act as well because of Neptune going into Aries. It could be like we going to be more compassionate with Neptunian energy, but also compassionate for the ones who are underprivileged, unprivileged, who is pushed on the side of the society, and we're going to stand up for the ones who has no voice, who the war affected areas, and we're going to rebuild that, but we're going to be the advocate for them, for example, and not letting anyone to take, like advantage on those areas, for example. It could be also something to do with AI as well. So, because of Aries is anything to do with something new. It's an initiator, right? And we also know Pluto went to Aquarius, Uranus gonna go to Gemini, and it's going to Neptune going to sextile with Pluto in Aquarius. So Pluto in Aquarius is AI. And we're going to question actually is it what is AI? And it's one to actually gain consciousness, for example, and we're going to question, um, the dignity over here of humanity, and if we should put, for example, chips into our body. So there is going to be a lot of questions which is going to question the artificial intelligence and our human identity as well. So that's what's going to happen during this time. There is going to be a lot of water wars. What does it mean? What does it mean, water wars, for us? So, Aries is war. Neptune is anything to do with sea, war on the sea, right? And when Saturn comes in, Saturn could be anything to do with underwater activity. It could be submarines, so it could be something with submarines as well. But water wars could be also something to do with pirate activity. I was talking about that in my previous video. So it could be increasing pirate activities as well. All right. And also because of Neptune is water and Aries is ruled by Mars, which is increasing the temperature, the water temperature going to get increased, and we're going to have issues with melting glaciers, right? So I told you guys about that. All right. Definitely the old era is over. The Neptunian old era is over, that it's going to be a radical change over here, right? Really, really radical change. And we also have to talk about, not only what does it mean, it's idealism and, confusion and escapism, but we also can talk about, what does it mean. And for example, it is in dignity and rulership in Pisces. I was talking about that a little bit. So you also have to know it's in detriment in Virgo, for example. And also, actually, Saturn is exalted in Leo. Oh, Saturn, Neptune is exalted in Leo. I keep going back to Saturn. What the heck is going on with me? And also, it's in fall in Aquarius, guys. All right. So what do we have over here still? What do we have to talk about? Let's talk about the positive and the negative keywords of Neptune over here. And let me see. Yes, so here is the dignity, and the nature, the double edge of the sword. So we also have to talk about that here in Zodiac sign, what is like anything to do with the Neptunian nature, which is ruled the Pisces. It is going and swimming across each other's, right? So it could be very compassionate and really artsy and really spiritual, but it could be very deceptive as well and living on La La Land in fantasy. So there is a lot of negative and positive trait of Neptunian energy as well. And that's what we're going to talk about. So the positive traits over here is mysticism, anything to do with idealism and visionary imagination and compassion as well. And the negative is addiction and confusion and fogginess and self-destruction through addiction, right? Victimhood and martyrhood as well. Neptune could be the martyr and the victim, always play the victim, right? Why me? Kind of situation. So that is the dual nature over here, right? The fog of the confusion and the divine wisdom, because of Neptune is also going to download a lot of energy, and it is the most psychic sign. Pisces is the most psychic of the zodiac. So it is the divine wisdom what we are hold on to. I have my Jupiter in Pisces and also my Sun as well. And, this is the divine wisdom, but also the martyrhood. Also, like go to fantasy land. For example, I don't have addiction, but I do have that kind of fantasy. Like if I feel the world is harsh, and since I was a little girl, I always went to my corner over there and just started to meditate or just close my eyes and I imagined something beautiful for myself. That was my escapism. That's why I like to write, because either I can relive my life, or I'm going to write something that I imagine and beautiful, and I feel purposeful then, and I feel content. So that could be, really, really good escapism for me. So it's not alcohol and drugs, but for me, it's writing and going to my la la land and meditate all the time. Yes, all right. So then, what we are talking about that over here, we were talking about that it went it's gonna go to 14 years. Yes, I gave you that. Okay. Okay, so also, Neptune is also could be something to do with socialism and communism, and Neptune also something to do with inflation. So because of it's in Aries and Aries ruled by Mars, we also have to check what else Mars rules, and Mars also rules Scorpio, which is the stock market. So there could be some kind of volatility in stock market, especially with precious metals, or anything to do with iron, steel, or anything to do with money itself, because they already took out the penny in America. I would think that it's going to be a lot of country which is going to get rid of small uh, paying options over there. So that could be also like, okay, we don't need that. It takes a lot more money to create that pennies or that small paying option than actually it's worth. So we're getting rid of that. Yes. But also it could be like because of, um, if you want to also check its socialism and communism and how Neptune actually operates in society, we were talking about the war on big pharma and the war on cartel as well. So definitely we're going to have some kind of crisis. It could be something to do with opiate crisis, or it could be something to do with psychedelics as well. And big pharma doesn't necessarily want people to do microdose mushrooms because, it doesn't maybe have side effect microdosing, but, SSRI product could have because it could create suicidal thoughts. As a psychiatric nurse, I'm saying that, or there is definitely going to be a spiritual movement. We might going to move away from religion and become more spiritual. But, we also going to be escaping entertainment, for example, because of it's going to sextile with Pluto in Aquarius, obvious, and after it's going to also sextile with Uranus in Gemini, it is escapism. It is like, okay, I put the AR on or the VR, whatever, and I create, I'm in my little village. And oh my God, what was that? The Westworld. If you saw the series actually of Westworld, and that is like it's an amazing series over there, and that could actually coming up for us. So just watch that series, and we can actually escape into something which is related to artificial intelligence and virtual reality, and we don't want to face reality because reality could be really, really harsh. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. It could be because Neptune also lies as well. And because of, it's also rules TV on one level, like documentaries and histories as well. But in documentaries, okay? and it could be something like some kind of war documentaries, has a lot of lies into it, right? Fake news, all right? So some kind of, they can actually steal some kind of warfare money, like they're going to go and, okay, we collect money for Palestinians, or we collect money for the Ukrainians, or the hurricane or tsunami disaster area, and they are stealing it. It disappears in the eternal womb, whatever it is. All right, so we know what is the glyph actually of the Neptunian symbols. That is actually the trident, right? Because Poseidon was holding the trident, which is, and he could change anything to do with the water. So it could, like divide the water with the trident. So the trident also have biblical symbolism. It is the sun, the Holy Spirit, and the Father, right? It's very biblical. Or it could be also the Trinity in our life, anything to do with karma, dharma, moksha, right? So this is very, very important when we talk about Neptune over here. It is the Trinity because of the symbol of the trident over there. All right. And we were talking about it's the higher octave of Venus, guys, right? So anything to do with, for example, love and forgiveness and unconditional love. That is the love that the mother feels when she wanted to have a baby and first see the baby and it's a healthy baby. That is a total unconditional love, right? So it's the divine love. It's the divine godlike love that we feel for our children or any being. It doesn't have to be children. If you don't have children, yeah. So Neptune is really going to influence, anything to do with creative imagination, the film industry, anything to do with photography, anything what's going to make illusion. What is that? Because it's going to sextile with Pluto in Aquarius, it could be holograms, guys. I told you guys it's going to be like what children gonna be learning from holographic teachers. So that's going to be something what is coming as well. But we're also going to experience love on a different way. We're going to take actions to show our love, for example, right? Because it's in Aries and it's gonna be a different kind of love. It is almost like my love language actually is like service, like show me with do something for me, okay? Clean up your room or make me a breakfast, for example, or clean the garden kind of situation. And that's kind of love we're going to experience with Neptune in Aries. So it's going to be a totally different love language over here. And even I would think even forgiveness going to be easier because it's in Aries and it is like Aries is a quick energy. And let's just get rid of it and let's just go, quickly. And I forgive you because I want to move forward quickly. I don't want to think of this over and over and pulled back to the same situation. So it could be, yes, something to do with that. And also, it is the womb, it is the ocean, it is the water. So as I said, that it's going to be connected and we will connect on a different way to healing. And it's going to be a quicker healing, quicker subconscious, like we want to initiate healing. We don't want to stay into that kind of situation where we have a lot of regret or shame or guilt. We definitely want to initiate over here the healing and we want to get rid of burdens and set, for example, strict boundaries also, especially when Saturn comes in. It will set strict boundaries and it will actually hold us responsible and reliable and responsible for our actions. So don't escape, don't go to La La Land, don't go to, to take actions. Busy hands are happy people. That's what my grandmother said all the time. Neptune could be depression, right? Too much thinking, too much emotions, martyr. And it is like, especially with Saturn, but I know in Aries, it was like, okay, no time to escape, face your fears, be courageous and move forward. Do something, and action actually going to help you with your depression or with your addiction. So that's what it is. All right, I'm going to show a little bit about Neptune in Aries, for example, when it was before there. And it was actually between 1697 till 1711, and also after that 1861 till 1874. All right. So what we have to know about this, there was a lot of war, guys. There was actually the War of Spanish Succession, right? And also there was also religious divisions. So we're going to see that coming up again. As I said, Christianity, Muslim, Jewish religion, or anything with also philosophy like Buddhism. But it's more going to be like religion kind of situation over here, because Neptune is coexist with Jupiter. Jupiter is religion, right? So definitely it could be an issue with a religious war over here, or a war initiated or something. Actually, they try to push it on to a nation, which is like, okay, that's not my religion. Why do I have to study the Bible if I'm Muslim, in school, for example? So that could happen during this year. It could indicate something because it happened before, right? And we also had so there was a major European conflict over the Spanish throne, leading to England seizing Gibraltar in 1704. Okay, all right. So what is happening right now? We are having some issues, like Trump actually. President Trump said wants to get the Panama Channel. All right. So what's going to happen over here? We could have a conflict over the Panama Channel as well. We can go into war because of some kind of division, religious divisions, right? Uh, all right. And then we can also have a lot more conflict as well in Great Britain and in Europe as well. So you will see France and Great Britain and Scotland and I mean, that's Great Britain, but England, Scotland, and the European countries could actually have some kind of major issues coming in. And then in 1861 and 1874, when Saturn went, I mean, Neptune went to Aries, there we had other issues also. So we did have the KKK emerged, unfortunately, and we also had issues with slavery, right? But um, um, in 1870, we have the former slave gain citizenship and voting rights as well. All right, so that could be also with the KKK emerged because of the slaves had citizenship and voting rights. So it came with it, unfortunately. But also we had the American Civil War. Guess what's gonna happen, guys? I know that it's so many people who are so unpleased. Obviously, uh, I don't know, at least 45% of the country, right? At least. And because of we are going to have some kind of civil war again, the human rights, a lot of people have been let go who work for the government. Listen, guys, those people has to pay mortgage and have to feed their children. So it's going to be very, very difficult, right? If they lost the housing market also could crash because everything is coming into waves as well. So you will see we're going to have a lot of civil war. And even if it is sextiling Pluto in Uranus, Pluto in Aquarius, which ruled by Uranus, and Uranus goes to Gemini, and the US anyway gonna have a Uranus return because it has a Sagittarius rising and they have Uranus in Gemini. I'm telling you that it's going to be a lot and a lot of issues with social unrest. So yes, it could be, like repeating. History is repeating all the time. All right. Um, what else has happened? We did have founded the humanitarian progress like the Red Cross during 1863. So because of its Neptune, it's humanitarian. Red Cross is like red, right? Some kind of the cross itself could be, the flag of, some uh, oh my God, soldiers back in, like 200 years ago, when they went to war, they had that kind of red cross on the flags. So it's obvious it is going to be some kind of humanitarian actions as well. And as I said, we're going to have issues with the Pope. And also we had actually the Traders Union in 1868. So it laid the foundation for worker rights and labor unions. So we're going to see some kind of demonstration around that issues as well. People not going to be, as I said, a lot of people was let go. And it's thousands, 10,000s, 100,000 people right now. Actually, when I was reading yesterday, it was 85,000 to go, 10,000 already let go, but 85,000 in America. And it's going to involve the whole entire Earth as well. It's not only based on America, guys, but as I said, it's going to be a lot of social unrest around the world. And you will see, Arabic countries come together and they're going to fight for their rights and the territory and actually rebuild Israel. I just actually read the news yesterday, and Egypt is willing to rebuild Gaza for they don't want nothing. They don't want to replace anyone or temporary, whatever, relocate the Palestinian. All right. So then also we did have the periodic table, actually the Dmitry Mendeleev kind of periodic table in chemistry, right? And what else happened? Oh, and the antiseptic surgery technique, Mars is surgery, right? Areas ruled by Mars, and Mars rules surgery, the eighth house as well. So there could be something to do with viruses, for example, because Neptune is virus. So it could be either something to do with antiseptic, they're going to help us how to get rid of virus right away, but also it could be like some kind of new viruses coming up, which is actually going to affect the head because Aries is the head and the eye as well. So yes, it could be medical disease or issues with that kind of situation as well, or light. And the other hand is because Neptune, anything to do with motion pictures and color photography going to increase like tremendously, and also holographic images and anything to do with movie, the way we are creating movies. And back then in 1861 and 1868, we had the first color photograph and also the flip books as well in modern cinema. So that is going to change as well. The cinematography going to change. Okay, where did I go? Okay. Oh, I went ahead. Okay, so that's the American Civil War. Okay, all right. So what can happen actually in 2025 and between 2039? All right, guys. So as I said, it's going to be a lot of medical whistleblower there, right? The big pharma is going to be, and the drug industry is going to be in big poop. Okay, let me answer that man. Just a second. I'm going to post up. All right, so I don't know how many times I'm going to have to restart that. I always have to resume, but it's okay. What I wanted to actually talk about over here, we're going to definitely have some kind of medical whistleblowers here. I truly believe Fauci in America going to go to jail, and also we're going to have, as I said, see everything with the side effects of, the Neptunian, the drugs, what we are using, and the corruption in drug industry as well. There could be some kind of new law coming in which is going to regulate anything to do with pharmaceutical industries. I told you before, whoever going to win, they're going to take Kennedy in, and that's what happened. And we're going to also have some kind of issue with opioid needs and also with insulin as well, guys. It could be some, like maybe the price because of Saturn comes in and Saturn is regulate, like with Neptune gonna conjunct in end of May and regulate the price, for example, or it could be something to do with Neptune because of Neptune is the bigger sister of Venus, right? Venus is the little sister over here. Venus is exalted in Pisces. It's anything to do with diabetes pills. So they can regulate actually the price of the diabetes pills as well. All right. And it could also, because Neptune is compassion and Aries is fighting, right? The warrior is going to fight against something to do with experimental treatments and something to do with mRNA vaccination and gene therapies, right? So it's going to fight against that, and or something to do just to do experimental drugs on animals, also on monkeys or on rabbits. So it's going to actually maybe stop it, and we're going to have more compassion. And we're also going to actually see the rise of alternative medicine as well, because of something going to get issues with big pharma, and it's going to be a fight for big pharma. So we're going to have a lot more and rise of people who are seeking for alternative medication as well. All right. So what is it also happening? So I was talking about Greenland, because of the ice is going to melt, and we're going to have deep water drilling because Mars is drilling, guys, and Neptune is water, right? And we're going to go for the oil. And you know what is happening? President Donald Trump wants to actually buy Greenland, and also they also want to have Gaza, as I said. Why? Gaza has a lot of natural resources. They have oil and they have natural gas. And under Greenland, under the melting ice, they can see already there is a huge deposit of oil, probably, or there is something what America needs. It's obvious, right? So that's what's happening over here. Okay, and then we can have a more geopolitical tension, because of we're going to have more military presence in countries, for example, to keep the peace between Russia and Ukraine, or China and Taiwan, or between China and America, or Iran and America. It could be any kind of war like that, but definitely there could be a rise of military presence in some kind of shore area. And it's not necessarily Neptune also immigration, guys, and it could indicate actually, the border patrols and the whole entire. So right now the military is sent to the borders to stop the immigration in America, actually. There could be a lot of deployment to places very sure issues going to happen, because North Node is in Pisces also, and because of Neptune is the ocean water and it's rising the water temperature level, it is going to bring in more hurricane, more tsunamis, right? That's what it is. Warm water representing a lot more hurricane, the erosion of the shores over there. So we're going to need the military there to save people's lives, obviously. That's what's going to happen. and it could be a major migration as well. You will see a major migration because of Neptune is doesn't know boundaries. Neptune is immigration, and because of something to do with natural disasters and like weather related and natural disaster related migration, for example. We also going to see droughts because Saturn is drying everything, and Saturn Saturn and Neptune conjunction soon after Neptune gonna go to Aries, it's going to bring in droughts as well. But in general, because itself the temperature it's going to rise of the oceans, and we're going to have issues with water, and we're going to have a lot of dead animal on the shores, or the mammals are going to, like a lot of breached animals, as I said, could happen as well. Yes, with that kind of situation. But we are talking about Neptune, and it could be some kind of global climate challenge as well. It could be something to do with, we're going to try to focus on sustainability, obviously, and we're going to start to take the salt out of the ocean water, for example, with some kind of technology, right? As I said, Neptune is ocean water, Saturn gonna conjunct with it, but I'm gonna do another video about that, and it's going to sextile with Pluto in Aquarius, which is technology. So we're going to try to create drinking water out from ocean water. So that is actually could be really, really positive, right? So what else could happen during this time? Let me see. Yes, so the Gaza offshore river and Greenland. Yes, artistic. Oh, yes, the military presence actually on the Arctic shipping as well. And, the canal on the Panama Canal also, what we were talking about, rising sea levels. Yes, so I was talking about that already. Okay. Okay, so what else? So, for example, I wrote you some affirmations over here. So, for example, really great affirmation here. I'm a warrior of life, light guided by courage and compassion. You need to be courageous to cross the ocean. Remember, my strength comes from within and fueled by divine purpose and intuition. I embrace my mission to heal, inspire, and lead with my heart. All right, guys. And then we're going to go to each individual signs, and I'm going to start with Aries. All right, guys, let's continue. A few hours went by since I started to record because I had to take care of the boys, bring them home from school, going to karate and boxing, but I continue. Thanks God, Zoom didn't push me down. So what's going to happen over here? We're going to start with Aries Rising, Sun and Moon. If you are watching this video for your sun sign, then obviously it is actually about your vitality, your father figure, your career. And if you are watching that for your rising sign, it's everything about you. And if you are watching that for your moon sign, your subconscious emotion and mother figure. Okay, so Aries rising, Neptune is going to your first house. So it's going to bring in actually an identity shift, right? You're going to want to have a different persona. You're going to feel more artistic, first of all, and very, very spiritual as well. You're going to be really, really charismatic and very exclusive, like on a mysterious way. You might going to want to change your color of the eye, for example, maybe get some lenses. You might going to get some tattoos and piercing, very Neptunian energy. Your worldview is going to change and you are shifting to become mystical. And also, the way you will be, you're going to be more dreamy, you're going to have a lot of lucid dreams, for example. Definitely, you can start some kind of art school as well. And if you would like to invest, you can actually invest in something which is Neptune ruled. So you can invest maybe in oil or anything to do with art education, and actually study art as well. And you can go abroad in a foreign country during this time. Don't do any decisions with rushing, because Neptune could be confusing at one point. Make sure, you take some time and you're not going to be very bold about your decision making. Also, your philosophy is going to change. So it is like maybe you turning away from Christianity to become Buddhist or become Jewish, because you might going to get married during this time, and obviously it could be because of your husband or your wife religion. You might going to also change your religion. All right. It could be something to do with some kind of head injury as well. So you might going to get some kind of virus or head injury, and it could actually create some kind of confusion, delusion, right? So you will need to be careful a little bit. I mean, this is a 14 years transit. I'm not saying it is going to be, like an issue for 14 years, but I'm saying when Neptune is ingressing, then it's going to be very, very critical then, and you will need to take care of your well-being. And also there could be some kind of heroic action as well. You might going to feel like you need to talk up for people. You're going to become a spiritual warrior, definitely. It could bring in a lot of relationship, unpredictable relationship, and it could be like your spiritual value going to be really similar. You will feel like you met this person in your previous life somehow, and you feel very, very connected. You can also take on to spiritual leadership as well. Like also have something to do with like you want to start to study either like astrology or tarot card, or you want to also start even YouTube channel. You're going to start photography or filmography, studying that as well. So that's definitely, you can actually have a lot of psychic download as well. So, this could be really prominent change for you because it's happening in your first house. All right, guys, Taurus rising, sun and moon. It's going to happen in your 12th house. 12th house, everything with your subconscious, everything to do with your, the underprivileged people. If you are getting a nursing job, for example, anything to do with, your dreams, you're going to have a lot of intuition, vivid dreams, a lot of vivid dreams, perhaps a lot of prophetic dreams as well. Deja vus, for example, like, oh, it happened with me before. You can also feel a little bit isolated from society as well. You will feel like I'm working behind the scene. Maybe I have some kind of art project, and that art project actually is taking my time away, or I'm working on something. I'm working on script writing, and I don't want to be surrounded by people. It could be also some kind of people who are operating some kind of secret. It could come out. Anything to do with karmic release, or like some kind of soul contract which is unfinished and which needs a closure, it could actually get a closure right now. You will also get some kind of creative subconscious flow, anything to do and become a poet or a musician, right? Your dreams are going to inspire your art as well. Anything to do with unconscious fear, it could emerge, and it also could help you to resolve past traumas and create healing. You can do something with occultism, mysticism. You will feel actually drawn to hidden knowledge and magic, and as a tradition as well. You're going to become very, very intuitive. You might going to go to monasteries, just go away from society, and you don't want to talk to anyone. 12 houses, hospitals and prisons as well. But not necessarily, you don't have to. In my natal chart, actually, I have that in the 12th house. So don't be careful, but don't afraid of this situation. It could be like you can become a healer, you can become actually a nurse, or you might going to become someone who has a retreat center, for example, during this time. All right. Don't let anyone to manipulate you spiritually or invite you in cult, because it could be also something called like as well. But definitely there is a lot of self undoing. It is healing traumas during this time. And as I said, you can get a job, or you can actually have a retreat center, or maybe Airbnb in faraway countries. Maybe you're going to do a boutique hotel, because it's also representing hospitality and boutique hotels. All right, guys, Gemini rising sun and moon, it's going to happen in your 11th house. 11th house is, your social circle, your league, what you are working in, anything to do with your friends. And it is also long-term dreams and wishes. So Neptune over here could dream big, and actually it could attract a lot of people who are having the same moral and values, people who are dreamers and mystic, but sometimes it could be also unreliable friends, fakes and flaws. And also, it could bring in people who maybe you have to go to event and there is a lot of drinking going on, or substance abuse, for example. And maybe, you're going to go and work with a spiritual activist group, but it's going to be very utopian. Uh, and be careful with cult-like groups, as I said, because it's require a lot of loyalty, for example, and to trust, a lot of trust. Online, you can become actually popular during this time if you do something with art or spirituality, but you also have to make sure your presence is actually not like confusive, and you are saying the truth and you stay authentic. You are not being someone who is bending, because of whatever the society requires. So be careful that, but definitely very, very visionary. And it could mean also like some of your friendship going to get dissolved. You can actually have a mentor or a spiritual teacher, or anything to do with a guru as well, and you might going to actually get into some kind of high-end society, secret society as well. So you will have to be a little bit careful with that, but definitely your world is going to progress, and it's going to progress for the better, and it's going to be very idealistic as well. It could also bring in some kind of political awakening, or some kind of actually humanitarian awakening as well. So you're going to help people, and you want to have people. You want to build communities, and you want to build communities, spiritual communities or art communities as well. Yes, and because of it's going to sextile Pluto, right? It could be something to do with AI as well, like 3D printed villages, or small villages, but it's going to cover different kind of subject. The village, like gonna be the artists, the spiritual healers, or just in general to do some kind of healing village. And you can also help to refugees, or anything to do with homeless centers as well. Definitely meeting your kindred spirit group. Cancer rising sun and moon is going to happen in your 10th house. 10th house is career. It's anything to do with your public image, anything to do with your, like your path and honor recognition. Neptune could bring some kind of confusion for your public image, like maybe you feel like you lost your purpose. Definitely, you're going to be more magnetic, and you're more spiritual as well, and you're going to be drawn to healing and therapy and coaching and spiritual advancement over here. It could be some kind of scandals, could actually influence your reputation sometimes, times or somehow some kind of gossip, which could be really confusing about you. But also what I see for you, you're going to lose interest in traditional success, and you want to have something which is not necessarily money based. You want to have it actually replaced by searching the meaning of life. Definitely, you can get some kind of creative leadership role. You can become a film director, a movie director over here. You can do music, art, success in theater, Broadway, right? Performance, anything to do in orchestra. If you have anything to do with mysticism, leadership, wellness center, that could be also like you co-found your own wellness center. You become an entrepreneur on your own. Um, you can also change the public perception about yourself, and you can become more spiritual. So they're going to look at you like you are more magnetic, but also like very visionary, very idealistic, and a real guru as well. Also, you are capable to migrate for your career, for example. Maybe you have to go to another country, other city, and you can also have some kind of social media influence through Neptune, because Neptune also could rule TV as well, and in the 10th house, it's definitely your career, but it is something to do with filmography, for example. And film is, even Zoom meeting or Zooming somehow, and it could create a better life and a better career for you. Um, yes, all right. Leo rising, sun and moon, it's going to happen in your 9th house, long distance traveling, philosophy, anything to do with higher education, older siblings, and export, import, businesses, and foreign matters as well. So, what could happen over here? It could be some kind of academic confusion for you, like, all right, do I want to do this major really? Or should I just go and just study art and study somewhere in a romantic place, go to Paris, or, like something like that. But also it could be like, all right, I'm going to go to Peru, I want to go to the Chinese big wall, Grand Wall, or, places, bucket list places, and I want to see those kind of amazing the word seven wonder or things like that, because this is what it's going to give me meaning in my life. And there could be a lot of mystical encounter in foreign lands. So you're going to go to Peru, you're going to feel the Inca soul, or you're going to go to Tibet or Nepal, want to hike the Mount Everest. So this is very spiritual for you guys, for Leo rising. You might going to change your fate. You might going to start a debate class. You might going to write a book and publish a book. For example, YouTubing, podcasting could be really good for you, but it has to be something about film, filmography, photography, anything to do with art or spirituality. And, to be a spiritual warrior, you will become a spiritual warrior, definitely. You can start your own religion, for example. Uh, it could bring in some kind of relocation also, because this is definitely a big change here. And you might going to buy an island or go to an island, some kind of island setup, exotic setup living could coming for you. And if you would like to do volunteering, you might going to start a school, but it's also really, really spiritual based. Or, you can start actually doing some kind of workshops and teaching art, for example. You can be hired as a art professor, for example, or history of art, or something like that in universities. You can also have some kind of prophetic dreams, and you are writing about your dreams because of, you downloading the information, and you can put that in written work. And you can do some kind of foreign international humanitarian work as well, going to the area, Gaza, and rebuild Gaza, or, anywhere where was a natural disaster or some kind of situation. And you can also get dual citizenship as well during this time, especially at the beginning of, the aspect over here. Okay, we're going to go to Virgo rising sun and moon, it's going to happen in your eighth house, guys. It has anything to do with, you know, taboos. It has to be your significant other, money, tax, debt, death, pregnancy, miscarriage. It is actually private detective as well, trauma, psychological work, shadow work, right? It is prenup as well. So anything to do with your insurance as well and inheritance. So there could be some kind of financial deception and confusion about something, investment, something to do with fraud or unclear inheritance. So Virgo rising, you can actually endure a lot of issues with fraud, for example, and shady investment, shady people around you. You might had that in the past, and that's why right now it's getting back to you somehow. Anything to do with inheritance, you might going to be cut out from inheritance. It also could actually bring in inheritance for you from distant relationship from an aunt and uncle, maybe you didn't even know about. There could be some kind of karmic debt which is surfacing right now. Neptune is the eternal womb, as I said, and the prenatal womb as well. And it is the prenatal memory that is so there could be something like I'm going to get to some hypnotherapy, and I figure out why do I hate my mother because of she did something when I was in the womb, and I remember during hypnosis. It could be some kind of sexual energy coming in, but it could be intense sexual energy. It could be like an intimacy on the soul level, like you meet a person and you are in love in the soul, and that's how it's going to become really, really intimate, attracted to the soul actually itself. You can have also some kind of near death experience or anything to do with cult or occultism. Careful over there. It is a rebirth cycle over here. Obviously, at the beginning, it could be like, all right, you might going to lose a pregnancy, for example, a miscarriage over here, or an abortion could come up at the very beginning. But you can start to work as a death doula, for example, or in hospices, for example, people who are close to death and somehow you feel fulfillment to have them through and have them to pass away, for example. And if you want to invest, you can invest in art, and it could be like anything to do with filmography, photography, anything to do with Neptunian energy, gas and natural gas, or for example, oil would be a good investment for you. Pharmaceutical could be a really good investment. And if it is coming to romance and like intimacy, then it has to be something spiritual based. All right, then we're gonna go to Libra rising, Sun and Moon. It's going to happen in your seventh house. Seventh house is your alliances, partnership, significant other, and legal matters. It's always also the followers from YouTube, for example, as well. It could bring in some kind of legal agreements, but it could require some kind of second viewing as well because of somehow you don't see the small printed letters. Also, it could bring in a relationship, but it's going to be very, very illusional. So careful who you're going to to say yes to, for example, for marriage or engagement, right? Because it's really romanticized. And when you wake up 2, 3 years later, you realize, oh, all right, this is not what I wanted, for example. All right. It could be also some kind of very romantic charisma on you as well. So you feel really, really charismatic, and you are very romantic, and you are very magnetic as well. So you can attract a lot of figure, but they could be somehow manipulative, right? Because Aries, Mars over there could be someone who is manipulative or foggy or lying to you somehow. Also, business partnership could bring confusion, so you will need to be careful or not to get romantically involved with your business partner as well. If you have some kind of legal issue, it could actually bring up some kind of legal issue with a romantic partner, but legal issue also like, but let's get married somehow. And if you have any kind of lawsuit with shared resources, for example, no, lawsuit in general, it could become a little bit confusing, like who owes who. So you go to a court and finally you realize they are going to blame you. You sued somebody, they owe you like $1 million, and then you are coming back from the court and you realize they try to blame and sue you for 500,000 or whatever it is. But there is a confusion also in this system as well. Yes, so you can have a lot of followers, for example, if you are doing YouTube channels about art or spirituality, anything to do with tarot cards or spiritual rituals, medical astrology, for example. Definitely you can attract a lot of artists. You might going to get in a partnership, like somebody want to paint you, or you can be actually a model somehow on painting, or you're going to become the muse of someone. All right, Scorpio rising sun and moon, it's going to happen in your sixth house. Sixth house, anything to do with your health, rental property, colleagues, work routine, daily routine, your pet, small pets. Also, this is your tenant, your tenancy as well, your roommates, and your workout routine as well. So there could be some kind of mysterious health issues coming in because of Pisces. It's Neptune. It's something mysterious, something what you don't see it right away, and you don't know how to figure it out, or the doctors doesn't know how to figure it out. But you're going to move toward to alternative healing. You want to do something to do with fasting, for example, and non-traditional medicine as well. You're going to find some kind of dissatisfaction in your daily routine. Like, all right, I didn't work out well. Right now, I have to start something which is really helping my health. Uh, so you're also going to seek for creative professions. You feel like you have a lot of muse, you have a lot to give to the world, and you are misunderstood. Your art is misunderstood. It could be something to do with pets. If you want to get healed, maybe you will need a pet, a dog, a support dog, for example, which is going to help you here. But also it could represent your pet is going to get healed during this time. If you are working with addict people, for example, or if you are having an addiction, you can go to private hospital, private treatments right now during this time. Uh, but you can also work with underserved population, like maybe addict center or maybe homeless center or things like that, animal shelters as well, rehabilitation, or rehabilitate prison people who came out from the prison, something to do with social working. It could be something to do with your dreams, like, okay, I'm dreaming to become healthy and wealthy at the same times, because sixth house is work as well. So you can get actually done a lot of new jobs if you are a writer or musician, for example, or if you're working on any filmography or photography. You can have show on your own right now. Definitely you're going to have a lot of uh, if you had a lot of issue and it was actually hidden, finally you're going to find out it was psychosomatic issues, and you're healing your mental health, and you're healing your spirit, and then you're going to heal your body as well. Meditation, tai chi, going to help a lot. Sagittarius rising sun and moon, we're going to have that in our fifth house. Fifth house, anything to do with investment, joy, romance, anything to do with our children and creativity. So over here, it could be like, like a surge and inspiration in creativity, like writing a book, writing music, some kind of cinematic project, anything to do with fantasies. Romanticize your fantasies as well, overly romantic, right? And it's also a really, really great spiritual awakening here. you can actually have some kind of pregnancy which you not necessarily knew about, those kind of series like I didn't know I was pregnant, I'm 50 and pregnant, kind of, pregnancies. But also you can have a spiritual approach to your children and pregnancies as well. You can have you can actually sign your children up for music classes, dance classes, and ballroom dancing, ballet, because that is Neptunian energy. Or you can actually travel, because this is pleasure and joy travel, faraway countries, which is very Neptunian and Sagittarian. Sagittarius is far away, philosophical. Neptune is anything to do with the bucket list over here. As I said, it could be something to do with Machu Picchu. It's something to do with the what is that? The pink dolphins in the Amazon. Like really, really beautiful places, what you are seeing, the northern light, whatever it is, but it could bring in a lot of amazing opportunity for you. And your children could also have success in art, for example. You can become a muse, or you could have actually some kind of muse as well to write your story, your book. You can become really, really mystical, but you have to be careful with overindulgence of alcohol or substances or fatty foods as well, because it could be that some kind of childhood dream also can resurface, and maybe you wanted to play the piano, some kind of hobby, but meant a lot for you, and you're going to start it right now. All right, and you can have some kind of mystical love affairs as well. Capricorn rising, sun and moon is going to happen in your fourth house. All right, so fourth house, anything to find your dream home, because Neptune is a dream home over there. And you're going to be very diligent. You're going to be make sure it's happening for you and for your family. And also what we have over here, you want to find solitude. You want to find a place where it feels zen and feel peaceful, and you're going to be called to that place. For example, something you might going to move next to a body of water, to the ocean shore, ocean properties, right? Anything to do with it could bring in some kind of confusion in the family, like maybe you find out something about your ancestry, like okay, maybe my grandfather is not my biological grandfather, kind of situation. It could also bring in some kind of unreliable home situation, like maybe you will need to move because the houses get flooded and you need to temporarily move out from your house, and then you can move back. Anything to do with your ancestors, Akashic record, right? You are capable to heal through that, and through past life connection. You're capable to heal your family karma. Anything to do with bad family patterns, alcoholism, dog addiction. Right now, you're going to find out what was the reason for that. Why is it in the family? And you're trying to heal it, and you're saying it ends with me and with us. That's it, right? So you're also going to have your house going to be like dreamlike. You're going to really create something beautiful in your home. Like maybe you're going to have a music room, a ballroom, maybe where you can practice, or ballet room, or maybe you want to have something like just a meditation room where you can create maybe movies, or like or YouTube videos, but you're going to do that in your home as well. Water is very important. So either you're going to put and try to do feng shui and, like water force, whatever is that, but you can do that for sure. All right, Aquarius rising, sun and moon, it's going to happen in your third house. Yes, Neptune is going to your third house. So third house, anything to do with your neighborhood community, siblings, relatives, niece, nephews, uncle, aunts, and anything to do with workshops, studying craftsmanship, skill-based studies over there, your vehicle. You might going to actually have a Neptunian, but also Aquarius kind of vehicle. What is that? It could be something to do with an electric car, but looks very romantic, right? It looks very hippie-like. So, for example, you can have that Volkswagen minibus, but it is somehow electric, right? All right. And then it could be also something to do with neighborhood community or like mind. You can have, for example, a praying group in your home, or you can go to a community center in near with neighbors and friends and siblings to pray together. It could be something to do with media manipulation, so be careful over there because Neptune could be lying. Maybe they're lying about you. They have an article about you, and it doesn't says the truth, right? Misinformation, right? You might also going to be interested in astrology, for example, also, telepathy and tarot cards. You're going to, and you can actually download prophetic messages even when you are awake during meditation. And because of, Aquarius ruled by Uranus, and actually you guys have the Akashic record, the crown chakra could be open. It is the genius over there. You're also going to be inspired to write anything about Neptunian energy, compassion, maybe about unprivileged people, right? Inspired to tell stories, to do workshop, maybe teaching, what is that? Photography classes or filmography or how to write or tarot classes. You can teach also anything to do with even not necessarily crypto. Yeah, it could be investment, Neptune, hidden investment, Aquarius is cryptocurrency. Yeah, it could be something learn about or teach about cryptocurrency as well. You will need to put some boundaries because Neptune doesn't know boundaries with neighbors and with siblings as well. They can show up in your house and they never want to leave, or neighbor always knocking on your door. I had that recently and I had to put some boundaries. Sorry. All right. So you will feel like when you are talking very, very spiritual. Your words are definitely really mysterious. And the way you speak, it's going to give comfort for a lot of people. But sometimes you will have issues to hold the truth. You won't know what is truth and what is not. Maybe you create a lot of art and it's AI art, and people doesn't know, okay, is it really you and your family, or you created with an AI? And they're going to question everything about you and your communication or what you put out on social media. All right. Okay, Pisces rising sun and moon. This is the last sign over here. Oh, it's going to happen for Pisces in the second house. Second house is your morals, values. It is the money what you make. It is also the food what you eat. So you might actually going to eat a lot more seafood, right? You can become a pescatarian, or you can eat a lot of kelp, because of seaweed, kelp, for example. And also, it could be like money going to be a little bit unclear, the situation with money, if confusive as well. Maybe you're going to give to a lot of charity, and finally you're realizing, or you want to invest to a juice bar and things like that, because second house also what you eat. Um, and you find out by ending the end, oh my God, I spent a lot of money actually on learning or buying books or spiritual books or investing in health, for example, healthy, I don't know, juicers or shakers or whatever, but I bought all of it and I spent thousands of dollars. And what did I do? But abundance could come through creative work, and you might have not known you have that kind of creativity, that kind of superpower, because second house also gift as well. So it could be a sidekick job. And you go and, okay, I'm gonna go to this karaoke bar and I'm gonna start to do the karaoke. And then they're going to ask you, can you come every night and we're gonna pay you? Because actually you do have a good voice. And actually, if you're singing, maybe other people would dare to come to the stage as well, but we're gonna pay you secretly over here. Or it could be like you overspending. It's very obvious with Neptunian energy in the second house. If somebody has that in the natal chart, it could be some because the water also in Feng Shui, it's abundance, but the water in the second house, it's your wallet and it's, have no boundaries. It's spending on art and spiritual projects and buying new tarot card and new tarot card, like or investing in knowledge, but definitely it could spend a lot of money. And inflation also could actually affect your earning as well. All right, or they promise you something like, okay, we're gonna hire you and we're going to pay a certain amount of money, but by end of the month, they're not going to pay just half of it. All right, so it could be like something to do with um, what is that? You can do an entrepreneurship. So it is something to do with your own, you're gonna become an entrepreneur, but it has to something to do with filmography, photography, or art. You can have some kind of increase in spiritual, charitable things as well. You will be more compassionate as well. And you're going to have actually some kind of magical way to manifest money, and it's going to be through meditation, or maybe you downloading information to buy a lottery tickets, and you are capable to win the money through that. But careful with financial scams during this time, because people also going to go and somebody Neptunian energy who lies, for example, because that's the bad side of Neptune over there, and like try to create some kind of magic around money. It sounds to be great, and you invest a lot of money and you can lose some. All right, guys, thank you so much to being here with me and liking and supporting my work. I really, really appreciate that. Try to visualize with Neptune, because Neptune has a lot of good qualities. Obviously, it has a lot of destructive energy as well, but we always try to focus on the good over here. And breathe through. That's it, because of sometimes we just need to breathe through. But I truly believe we are going to become the spiritual warriors, and we're going to be advocate for the underprivileged and the homeless and the veterans, and we're going to become more compassionate, especially with North Node being in Pisces as well. So I wish you luck, and I'm going to see you all soon. Thank you so much. Bye for now.